What's going on? Joey Ricotta here at On Tab Bets. Back again. We are back after the Masters. Incredible weekend. Open things up with, we got to see Tiger play pretty damn well out of the gates. He started out pretty hot. He was in the running there for the first two rounds. And then it seemed like he couldn't really, keep up, or it was kind of bothering him, after those two rounds. But he did make the cut, so that's one bet that we hit. I didn't even introduce him with the man himself, Jack Bushman at Jack Bushman 2. Jack, how you doing, my friend? We are here to break down another tournament.
Yeah, we got the RBC Heritage this week. Wish the Masters week went a little bit better, but hey, at least we cashed the Tiger to make the cut. I can't believe they gave us that at plus money. Just free money right there, Joey. Glad we could take advantage of that. But I'm doing well, partner. Thank you for having me on the show, buddy. Always fun when we get together to talk some golf.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was candy from a baby. Free money with that Tiger thing. You love to see it. It's cool to see him out there and doing his thing for those two rounds. I mean, he was in contention for, like I said, those two rounds, and it was real nice to see that. And then we didn't even, I didn't want to bury the lead. I feel like that kind of is the lead. But the real lead is the winner in Scottie Scheffler. We did it again to ourselves. We said he wasn't going to win this week. Is that his fourth out of his last six events? Like, Jack, what are we doing here? Is it Scottie Scheffler every week? Like, what are we supposed to just bet on him blindly every week now?
At this point, we might, because I haven't. Well, I was a part of a Sunday live bet of Scottie Scheffler at Bay Hill, but other than that, I have not made any money these last few weeks because of him. Just what an incredible run Scottie Scheffler is on. I mean, I think everyone, or most people, should have understood how good he was once he got to number one with those 3 wins in 5 weeks, but he really put a stamp on it by absolutely dominating at Augusta National. I mean, it's tough to be, upset, because Scottie is just such a good dude, and he just played so terrifically. I mean, even through those 2 weekend rounds, Saturday and Sunday, he didn't have his best stuff, but it seemed like every time he needed to get up and down, he damn near did it. And I don't know if you saw on 18 on Saturday, hit the ball in the bushes, and he had to play an unplayable, so he was dropping his third. Looked like it could be an opening for some people heading into Sunday, and what does he do? He strikes a beautiful iron. He manages to escape with a bogey. I mean, that kind of is just a synopsis of Scottie Scheffler's game right now, right? He plays so clean. Every big shot that he needs to make, he really steps up and does it and executes. And I wish, there would have been a little bit more drama throughout the weekend, right? Especially we had a couple guys who were floating in contention that we had money on. Rory McIlroy had an absolutely unbelievable Sunday, but still came up well short of Scottie Scheffler. What a moment that was on 18 to watch him and Morikawa hold back-to-back bunker shots and then embrace each other. That was super cool. But for Scheffler, man, it might just have to be auto bet at this point, because I literally remember saying on the show last week, he's won 3 times in 5 starts. Is he really going to do it again? Well, yeah, he did it again in the biggest tournament of the year so far, probably the biggest tournament of the year in the Masters. It was frustrating, but I'm happy for Scottie because he is a really good dude. And I thought it was kind of cool too. He's starting to open up a little bit now that he's getting all this media attention, right? I don't know if you caught this, Joey, but he talked about after the win how he woke up Sunday morning just super stressed, crying with anxiety, and was telling his wife, he's like, I don't know if I can do this. And to kind of hear that perspective from a guy who, seems untouchable right now, 4 wins in the last 6 weeks, to kind of give you that perspective on what really is going on through a guy like that's mind. It was incredible to see him be that honest with the media. So as much as I'm frustrated with Scottie Scheffler not giving us Sunday drama at the Masters all that much, he's a terrific dude, and he's deserving of all these things. He was a phenomenal junior golfer. He won it all over the place there, and it just seems like it was a matter of knocking over the dam, and all of a sudden it's flowing. It's coming out in an outpour. 4 wins in the last 6 starts. So incredible stuff by Scottie. Mad that we missed out on it, but that's the way she goes sometimes. I'm sure I'll be betting on him next time he comes out, though, Joey.
I'm with you. Touching stuff there with Scottie Scheffler. It's like, he's human. It's like all these guys are human. We bet on golfers, we bet on baseball players, we bet on football players. We do all this stuff. We bet on teams and whatever. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that there are real humans that are swinging the clubs, real humans that are swinging the baseball bats, whatever it may be. And like when you have such a huge moment like this in someone's career, to be able to witness that and to have them prevail. I mean, like I hope this is like, now he realizes he can do anything in the golf world, because if you could get over this hump, and especially feeling like that on Sunday, you can do just about anything. And he's proving to us every week that he can. So it's like, I have no other reason to doubt this man. So it's like, I'm with you. Blind bet from here on out. If it's, if I lose, if he doesn't win, then it's like, okay, I guess, my mug here, got it filled up. Crack them if you got them. But it says process over results. So normally, like, I would still look at this as like process over results when it comes to Scottie Scheffler. Like, this can't happen again. I think I'm gonna just say there's just results over process with Scottie Scheffler, and just like call it a day. But with these other guys here, I don't know how your other bets went, Jack. I know we didn't get an outright. You might have been involved with like some live betting outrights with Scheffler, but for like the head-to-heads, the one head-to-head that I really liked, the 2-unit play, it ended up being the difference in my week, really, because I ended up plus 1.5 units, or roughly plus 1.5 units. The Siwoo Kim over Max Homa came through. Tom Hoagie came through for me, top 40, and then obviously Tiger Woods to make the cut. So those three, the outrights that didn't hit: John Rahm, DJ, McIlroy, everyone, Spieth, Zalatoris, and then top Continental Euro, John Rahm, that didn't hit, and Tom Hoagie, top debutante. But we sprinkle around the units. We don't put full units on every bet, but so that's why I still was able to come out on top. But with Siwoo Kim, Max Homa, they kind of made me nervous there. Like the first 2 rounds, it was a little bit closer than I wanted it to be, but he obviously overcame him. But what any other takeaways here, Jack, from this tournament, betting standpoint, anything?
Yeah, it was tough to see that. I had, Corey Connors, I had Rory, I had DJ, all guys that were right there, but never really were close enough, because Scottie Scheffler was just keeping his foot on the gas. Him and Cam Smith were the only ones who really had a chance entering Sunday. And then Cam Smith, there lies his hopes and dreams in Rays Creek on 12, and took another victim, and that really was the tournament right then and there. Siwoo Kim, though, what a roller coaster ride of a weekend for Siwoo. It was the most typical Siwoo Kim outing. Starts at I think he was +4 through 6 holes or something terrible. He fights his way back, and then Sunday he's blowing up all over the place. It was interesting. But that's Siwoo Kim, literally in a nutshell. He's the most volatile player on tour. He's either incredible or he just loses it. And I actually do think he was putting with his 3-iron again at one point throughout this tournament. So
you got to be kidding me.
That seems to be a Masters reoccurrence for Siwoo at this point. But yeah, it was frustrating. I honestly believed in the process. The only ones that really hurt me were Jordan Spieth golfed absolutely terribly. Rays Creek took him again. And then Brooks Koepka didn't really live up to the expectations that I thought he would. I thought he would play better at a field or at a tournament like this. He always usually ramps it up for majors. He just couldn't make a putt all week long. So other than that, though, I had a lot of guys that were right there. Scottie Scheffler just was the best guy in the field. Rory was right there. DJ was right there. Corey Connors had a nice finish as well. So I do still believe in the process. It just frustrating that out of anyone that beat us, it was Scottie Scheffler yet again. But fortunately, he's not in the field this week.
Yes.
At the Heritage, Joey.
He deserves a week off. There we go. We don't have to worry about losing.
I would not be playing the next week if I won the Masters. Let me tell you that. I'd be on a big old bender.
Same. Not that I didn't already go on one with opening day at Wrigley, but I would absolutely be on a bender. I'd be on a beach somewhere. I would, just anything that I felt like doing if I was Scottie Scheffler, I would just do, and then I'd have people waiting on me hand and foot and just tossing them dollar bills and be like, hey, please, can I it's time to eat now. Like he can have whatever he wants, I think.
Dude, over $10 million in the last 2 months. I mean, come on. Dude's just cashing check after check at this point.
Absolutely raking. But with that said, Jack, we need to move on because we got the RBC Heritage. It's Harbortown Golf Links in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Field, it's going to start, I believe, at 132 and going to get reduced down to 50 with ties, obviously, after 2 rounds. That's the cut line. Jack, what do you think from this course? Break it down and tell us what we should look for and, maybe some course history, anything you got on this course.
Yeah, Harbortown is an interesting track. It's one of the shorter fields on the PGA Tour, or shorter courses on the PGA Tour, I should say. It's only just over 7,100 yards. It plays as a par 71, and it's really a course that's all about irons and putting. You see some comp courses like the Sony Open, the Honda Classic, the RSM is one that's similar, the Wyndham Championship, some of these shorter courses where it kind of expands the field of who can contend. And we've seen that in the winners here the past handful of years. Stuart Sink won it last year. We saw Webb Simpson set a course record, I believe, when he won in 2020, which that was the second event right after the COVID delay. So that was played at a different time of the year. So kind of put an asterisk by that one. But we've seen CT Pan, Satoshi Kodaira. I mean, a lot of guys from all over the betting board have had success here. So there necessarily isn't an advantage at the top, even though this is a pretty darn strong field, Joey. It's going to make for some tough decisions because even though, we see 5 of the world's top 10 in this field, it feels like anyone can win it. So I'm really just going to be focusing on guys who can get hot with the putter, guys who are good with wedges in their hand, and guys who are good thinkers usually. This is a Pete Dye course, guys who are good at fulfilling a strategy out there on the course. Pete Dye is known for mixing and matching things to make it a little bit complicated. And by the way, Harbortown comes right on the coast of South Carolina, as you said, on an island. So it's usually windy. The one year it wasn't was when Webb absolutely lit it up. So I think it's going to play a little bit tougher than we've seen it in recent years. But that's why I kind of like players who are strategists out there on the course who can think their way through it. So good irons, good wedges, good putting, and driving really off the tee doesn't matter all that much here per se. Now, you would still like your player, obviously, to be gaining strokes off the tee and hitting fairways and putting themselves in position to have a nice second shot into the greens. But it's not necessarily the end-all, be-all. Really, when you look at some of the leaderboards in the past years, the leaders in strokes gained approach usually find themselves at the top. So guys, like I said, good with their irons, and then you just got to find the guy who's really good with their putter. So, but because of that, like I said, Joey, that there are a lot of players up and down the board who I think are viable this week in Harbortown.
Yeah, it's going to make it real interesting. It's going to make it fun. One of the things that I do not like is that it's going to come down to whoever's putter is probably the hottest, in my opinion. And I hate that, right? Like, it's not going to be only that, but I hate having to rely on somebody with a hot putter because it's like, you just never know. Like, that's like very volatile, I feel like. And well, the things I wrote down, though, as far as like my stats that I wanted to watch for is greens and reg, putting and approach. And you mentioned the approach, strokes gained approach. I think that's a great way to look at things here this week. And yeah, I mean, so like let's go ahead and look at this here from who's favored. We got Justin Thomas right at the top, Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantlay, Cameron Smith, and then Daniel Berger are basically like the top 5 there as far as betting odds go. You could say Matt Fitzpatrick, DJ, Shane Lowry, throw all those guys kind of in there after, once you get to that 5th spot. But what do you see from like this high end group? Are you going to be betting on any of these guys, or are you looking a little further? I mean, it's kind of, I don't like paying a premium price like at courses like this is necessarily, but I don't know. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's really tough because a lot of those guys that you just named at the top of the betting board are really solid players, and a lot of them are good fits here at this course. I mean, Justin Thomas, if he can make a putt, like this is a tournament that he could very easily win. The question is, I don't know if that putter is going to show up. We have not seen it very often, and JT's just been rather streaky. Like sometimes he'll put together a really solid round, and then the next day it's gone. So I don't think I'm going to get to JT here, even though he does have some decent course history. Patrick Cantlay is someone who has played this course really well. I believe he had 3 top threes in a row let me pull it up here real quick. I got such a long list. Yeah, he had 3 top 10s in a row from 2016 to 2019. He didn't play in 2020. And then last year in 2021, he returned and got cut. But I think this is a course that suits Cantlay well. We haven't seen it since the start of 2022, really, since, he had a good finish at the Waste Management back in February when it was Super Bowl week, but that really should have been his tournament, and he just didn't execute on Sunday. So despite his course history, I'm not going to get there. Collin Morikawa, if we talk about strokes gained approach, that's the guy. If there's one guy I'm probably leaning to here in those top 4 or 5 names, it's probably going to be Collin Morikawa. He also had a really solid round on Sunday. That pairing with him and Rory McIlroy was just awesome to watch. I believe they were 13 under combined in that Sunday round, which, at Augusta, that's incredible. Cam Smith is really interesting, though, too. I just don't think I'm going to get there this week. I want to see how he reacts to losing that tournament, and especially in Rays Creek, because we've seen that absolutely bury people in the past, a.k.a. Francesco Molinari when he hit it in that creek on Sunday, and Tiger went on to win in 2019. Francesco Molinari's never been the same player. So while this should be a course that, suits well for Cam Smith, wedges and putting, that's literally his bread and butter. I think I just kind of want to give it some time to see how he reacts from that disappointing Sunday at the Masters, because he was right there until he hit it into the creek. I know he had to hope for a little bit of a lucky stretch once Scottie Scheffler chipped in on that 3rd hole. That really was a huge momentum swing. But I'm probably not going to get there on Cam Smith this week. I don't even know if I'm going to get to any of those top 4 guys, I should say, JT, Morikawa, Cantlay, or Smith, because I just like the group below it a lot, actually. If I do go with anyone, it's going to be Morikawa, but I don't know if I'm going to get there at this moment.
Yeah, that's the same with me, actually. I hate to be like in such agreement all the time, because I feel like we were kind of on some of the same guys last week as well, but Morikawa would be I'm going to probably sprinkle a little bit on Morikawa because I feel like, he was right in it last year. Tied the winner, Stewart Cink, actually, for greens in regulation last year on this course. So I feel like this is a perfect spot for him. Like I like that. And we're talking about, you talk about strokes gained approach and all that. I think we're looking here at Morikawa, but I don't like the price. I do not like the price.
I don't either.
But I'm probably going to wind up sprinkling a little bit. I haven't placed anything yet, but I feel like I'm going to have to soon if I do want to, because I'm assuming he's going to get some more money here. Tossed his way by bettors.
I believe he was actually in the final pairing with Stewart Cink last year here. He just didn't have a very good Sunday. I know he finished tied 7th, I believe. But, he was right there going into Sunday. And, that's what you want through 3 days. And you'd figure most of those times Collin Morikawa was a good enough player to get the job done. So that's kind of why I might be leaning towards him if I do go from someone at the top, Joey.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. You mentioned this range below it that you really like. So let's get into that, because there's a few guys here that they are interesting to me. And I want to hear your thoughts, because it looks like below these guys that I just mentioned, Russell Henley, Corey Connors, Joaquin Niemann, Tyrrell Hatton, Webb Simpson, who has had good success here. Talk to me. What do you think?
Yeah, Corey Connors, I've been on Corey for a while. The ball striking's just been so good. It's been so good. And he's performed well here the last couple of years. He missed the cut his first 3 times out. But since then, he's finished T21 and T4 last year. He's been rolling. I know I'm going to bet money on Corey Connors. That's just going to happen, because doggone it, if he wins and I miss out on it, it's going to be really sad. I'm not going to get to DJ. I know he plays the RBC every year, but honestly, DJ's just the type of guy where coming off like such a stressful week at the Masters, he just seems like the type of guy who's kind of maybe going to go out there, just, do what he does. I don't think he's going to be stressing too much, or I don't want to say he doesn't have the drive to win or anything. Like, I'm sure the guy would love to win, but he just seems like that laid back personality who might not care about this event as some others may. I don't know. That's just my thought on it. So I'm not going to get to DJ. But a couple of guys, I didn't want to skip over them, but I really do like Matt Fitzpatrick and Shane Lowry. I don't love the price. Them lower than 20 to 1 is frustrating. I get it because they've had such good results, but I think I'm going to have to get some money on Matt Fitzpatrick. He's been a T10 machine. I know he doesn't win over here in America, but man, it's just been so good. And when you talk about irons and putting, that's his jam. And same with Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry's got top 13 finishes in each of his last 4 events. He had a really strong Masters. He was one of the few guys who hung in there overall throughout all 4 rounds. And he's been playing really well, and he knows how to roll the rock, a great chipper of the ball. I might have to get in on those guys, but I think from under 30 to 1, I think I'm probably going to stick to Lowry, Fitzpatrick, and I may, FOMO bet on Corey Connors, like I said, because if he wins now and have change on it, might be the end of me.
That would be absolutely painful. That'd be worse than having Scottie Scheffler win without betting him, I think, because you've been on this guy for so long.
Right.
So I'll tell you right now, I have not placed a bet on any of these guys, but I do find Lowry and your boy Corey Connors interesting because, like you said, he's been golfing so well here that it's like one of these weeks it has to click. Like everything he just has to shoot up to the top of the leaderboard because he's been right around. Like he has not been far off. And I just think that this could be one of those weeks where, I don't know, Shane Lowry, you mentioned he had a good Masters too. I don't know though, because the only reason why I don't really want to bet these guys is because I feel like when you have such a strong week at the Masters, I wonder if there is like a potential letdown right after, even though they're so close. I don't know. Like I haven't looked at any numbers behind this, to be honest, but I wonder if it's like you're so close to getting there, but yet so far away. And that's like the biggest golf tournament for them. And then going into this tournament, like how much more do you want it? Almost kind of like a DJ situation, but I don't think you can look at him the same way like DJ, where he might be slacking off. But that's the only reason why I'm not really getting to many of these guys. My outright that I've like placed, I'll be honest, like the first outright I bet was Joaquin Niemann.
I'm in, baby. I love to hear that. Oh, I'm all in on Joaquin Niemann, 100%. I'm going to bet Joaquin Niemann this week. He just played terrific alongside Tiger Woods through 2 rounds at the Masters. Like, that's a big deal. That might have had a bigger crowd than Scottie Scheffler had all weekend, except for maybe the last 4 or 5 holes on Sunday when everyone went to him and Tiger was off the course, right? Like, yeah. I thought that was very impressive to see out of Niemann, and he's someone who could play well on these type of tracks. He had a 5th place finish last year, I want to believe. Yeah, he tied for 5th in 2020. He didn't play it last year, but I really like his game a lot, and he's been really good ever since the start of this year. He won at Riviera, which is a very tough track. He's a great thinker, and he's one of those guys who plays usually a pretty clean game as well. He can get up and down from a lot of places. He had some wayward shots over the weekend, but I think that could have just been, maybe the stress of the Masters in 4 rounds. I'm not really that worried about those results affecting him this week. I'm definitely going to be placing a wager on Joaquin Niemann, and I've seen it as high as plus 4,000 at some places, so I'm definitely going to be in on that.
Let's go. I'm in too. Like I said, you pretty much said all the things that I really wanted to say. I mean, 6th in strokes gained tee to green and around the green, 17th total strokes gained. I like it here. Joaquin Niemann, let's fire it up. Adam Hadwin was my next outright, plus 6,000. I mean, he's accurate off the tee. He's streaky though, like sometimes with his iron play, I feel like, but it's one of the best putters. Like he really does have a good putter. Top 7 finishes at the Players, Valspar, and Valero. I don't know. Like he doesn't have really like great finishes here, but he seems like a guy that I want a piece of at plus 6,000 or better, whatever price. It seems like a guy that I can be in on. Jack, what do you think about Adam Hadwin?
Yeah, he's someone that's garnering a lot of interest this week I've seen so far because of his ability to putt. I don't know if I'm going to get there with Hadwin, to be honest. I just think this might not necessarily – he just hasn't figured out this track recently, and he's played here a bunch of years. I don't know if I'm going to get on him, but, I'll root for him for the boys if you're going to place that wager. I'm not saying he's going to win. There are just a couple other guys that I like a little bit more that are just ahead of him. So I don't know if I'm going to get there, and sometimes you just got to make cancellations off the card or you're going to be betting 20 guys and you're not going to make any money. So I'm going to shy away from Hadwin, but I hope he puts lights out for you, buddy.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to need the luck. Jack, who are some other guys that you are, and you said ahead of him. Who are those guys?
Yeah, one guy I'm interested in, Sungjae Im, plus 4,000 as well. He's been kind of a mixed bag here lately, but he did play really well at the Masters, and plus 4,000. I mean, we saw Sungjae win at the Honda Classic not that long ago. That's a very comparable course to this one. I just think plus 4,000 honestly is too big of odds, and it's kind of just a feeler. Not more so like, I mean, the Masters was good, but he didn't really have the best Florida swing, especially for a guy who had played well in Florida in the couple of years prior. So I'm probably going to be betting on Sungjae plus 4,000. Two interesting guys, though, based on their numbers here, Joey, that I wanted to bring up real quick. Webb Simpson plus 3,500. He's been phenomenal here, but has been awful in 2022 because he's kind of been plagued with injury. He actually kind of had a solid bounce back at the Masters last week and performed a lot better than I thought he would. But I just don't know, like, given his injury status, plus 3,500 is a very fair number for Webb Simpson at this course. He won 2 years ago. He's been right there in contention several times in past years as well. I don't know if I'm going to get there. I was wondering if you had any interest in him. And then also, what about our boy Jordan Spieth, who drops all the way down to plus 4,000 after just a dreadful Masters, didn't even make the cut. I just thought those were like really interesting numbers, especially when a guy like Jordan, we bet him at what, 20-1 last week to win the Masters, and now he's 40-1 to win the Heritage. Like, it does look enticing. I don't know if I'm going to get there though.
Somehow my mic got muted.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're a ghost.
I didn't even touch it, so I have no idea how that just happened. It doesn't seem right with Jordan Spieth being dropped this low. It feels like you're getting a really nice discount here, even though I don't really like him to win this tournament. Like, I could see him winning this tournament, especially having such a rough Masters where you know he's a better golfer than that, and I feel like he's fully capable of turning it back on this week. I haven't bet it yet, but I definitely understand why. Webb Simpson, like the recent stuff scares me.
For sure.
And I understand why you want to do that with the course history and stuff. So I won't talk you out of that. And I mean, I feel like he does have a great shot this week because of that course history, but I don't know. I can't do it with just the way that he's been golfing lately. I kind of want to see it a week before I jump on. Like, if he has good course history somewhere and he does well, and then I might hop on somewhere. But this week, I just, like you said, you got to limit your guys so you're not betting everybody. I didn't get there this week. Spieth, I might get talked into Spieth, but I haven't yet. I'll give you a couple other guys here because I know we got to kind of keep it churning. Tom Hoge plus 7,000 or better.
Your boy,
like, dude, I can't get off the Hoge bun. Like, it. I like Italian beef. I like Italian sausages. You got to have a nice hoagie for those. Chicago dogs, whatever. Dude, Tom Hoge I think he's still rolling. Like, he had a pretty decent Masters. Like, he wasn't really in contention or anything like that, but why not? He treats me well. I got the top 40 out of him. I'm just going to go ahead and do it for shits and giggles. It's nothing really. Like, I think this is a course he can do well at, but it's not like he's the best fit for it, I don't think, out of everyone. But the other guy that I got to, this is a long shot. This is my last outright that I've bet so far. Kevin Streelman plus 10,000. So, and T7 at Valspar, T18 at Valero, T22 at the Players, 32nd in strokes gained around the green. Approach and putting kind of scares me, but maybe we get good Streelman. Jack, I want your thoughts here.
Yeah, Streelman's an intriguing name. He's someone who also has been kind of, I think, more so in maybe the DraftKings daily fantasy that's been garnering a lot of interest because of his ability to play consistently. And he's got 3 top 10 finishes here since 2013. I don't know if I'm going to place him to win because I've been down the road before of Kevin Streelman competing on Sundays, and I have tickets on him, and he just can't make putts on those Sundays for whatever reason. But one thing that did entice me, it's kind of funny, is your two long shots are two guys who I kind of was looking at top 40. I saw Tom Hoge's plus 100, top 40. I mean, even money, I'm going to smash that for sure. And then God, where'd he go? I was seeing it plus 120. Kevin Streelman, top 40 as well. Those were two that I was looking at. So I don't know. I definitely feel more comfortable taking a Hoagie outright, and I'm seeing plus 8,000. Like, that's a very fair number for a guy who's won 2 times on the tour this year, I believe. But he's also just been competing at some of the better fields, like the Players Championship. He was right there on Sunday. So he's been playing good golf overall throughout the year, and still I don't think is really getting enough credit for it, honestly. So I'm definitely going to bet Hoagie and Streelman, I think, to both finish in the top 40. I'm seeing plus numbers on them. That seems a little ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
And then one other long shot who I was interested in that I wanted to talk to you about, both in top 40, and I think I'm going to take an outright on him, is Matt Kucha, baby. He has been Mr. RBC Heritage over his career. He's finished inside the top 40 every year since 2013, except for one where he finished tied for 41st. He's won this event back in 2014. He had a 5th place finish in 2015, T9 in 2016, T11 in 2017, 2nd place in 2019, tied for 18 last year. Like, regardless of where Matt Kuchar is at, and obviously, he's getting older, he's competed in this field, and he had a really solid Valero. He was one of the final pairings to tee off on Sunday. I'm definitely going to be in on Matt Kuchar, both as an outright. I'm seeing it at plus 7,000 right now. I think that's a fair number for him. And I also saw only minus 125 for a top 40. And as I said, he's done that every year since 2013, except for one. So those are like the kind of top 40 plays. I don't think I'm going to get to any top 20s here, but those top 40 plays I really like. And I also like taking Kuchar as a long shot because he's been playing some really good golf, and at courses that he can hang in at, he's done that so far this year. So I'm intrigued by Matt Kuchar at plus 6,500. Other than that, I don't know if I'm going to get too far down the board, even though we've seen some long shots win here before. I may throw in a couple just to sprinkle it, because we've seen that happen, but I haven't decided who I'm going to get to just yet. One guy who is intriguing, Brian Harmon, plus 10,000.
Yep.
He's someone who's been playing this course well throughout his career too. And I just think those are, like Sung JM, I think those are way too big of odds for Brian Harmon, because at tracks that, it relies on short game, those are his jams. And we saw that at the Players. He was right there on Sunday as well. I'm going to take Brian Harmon plus 10,000. I already know. And now it's just kind of about figuring out who I want to take in the middle, because there are a lot of, just like at this type of track, and this is an exceptionally strong field. Ever since COVID hit, all of a sudden the RBC Heritage is like a big name field randomly. So it's going to make for a fun tournament. And hopefully this will be the week that we cash in for a big one, Joey, because I'm feeling it. I've been close. I need my first outright of 2022. I had 4 last year in like half a season. It was really solid. And this year I've been right there, man, but I'm feeling good heading into RBC. I know what kind of player we want, and hopefully we'll be cashing this week.
Well, you might have just talked me into Brian Harmon, because I'll tell you right now, that was somebody I was looking at. And you mentioned your top 40 picks, Hoagie and Kevin Streelman. I like both of them. Those are both of my top 40 picks as well this week, because like you said, plus money for both those guys just seems off. Brian Harmon was another guy, plus 120. I saw him on DraftKings. I'm not quite sure where else he is at for top 40, but I do like him there. And if you are betting him outright, Jack, you feel that good about him, I might go ahead and tail that one. The other top 40 bet that I had was Stuart Sink.
Oh, Stu.
130. Plus 130. I don't know how he's actually going to perform this week, but I feel like with this course history that he has, there's no reason why he can't get top 40 here.
No.
I think it's very doable, and if you're going to give me plus money on it, I feel like it's just a value bet at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and roll those guys out there for the top 40 bets. I like them. It's a little 4-pack. Pop it in there, and hopefully you get some juice. But those are the top 40s I like. As far as the long shot, you kind of mentioned them. We already talked about them, but I'm going to toss in that Brian Harmon one as well. Any other prop bets or top 40s? And by the way, I'm glad that we are talking about these top 40s, because I feel like a lot of content creators, they talk a lot more about top 10s, top 20s, things like that, because it pays out better. Like, people that gamble, they want the better plus money baggers, but I want the stuff that I feel really good about. And I feel really good about these top 40s that we're talking about. And that's stuff that I like to bet. I don't like to bet just because I'm going to make a lot on return. These outrights, yes, like you are sprinkling a little bit, but you're not putting like full units on it. What are some of your other, like, do you have any other prop bets or top 40s? Anything else, like head-to-head matchups, anything?
I don't have any head-to-head matchups. I usually stay away from that kind of stuff because it just makes – I'm just betting on 80 different things at that point. But I'm trying to think of – I feel like there was someone I missed. Oh, one guy I definitely wanted to talk about, Kevin Kisner. This just kind of feels like a Kevin Kisner track, and all those Kevin Kisner type courses where he actually has a chance to compete. There are just some fields that, he doesn't stand a chance at. And he even said so himself. They said, oh, well, if this was an interview a couple years back, but if you don't have a chance, why do you come out here and play? Because they pay a lot for T20, and that's absolutely right. But on tracks that Kevin Kisner actually can compete at, the match play, we've seen him play well throughout the years at Sony. Those type of smaller courses where the greens are small and you have to be good with your irons, just good overall short game. Kevin Kisner has also performed well at those so far this year. So I see him at plus, he's gotten bumped down a little bit. I saw him at plus 6,500, and now it's at plus 5,500. So it sounds like some people are on the Kevin Kisner train this week. And I thought it was a really encouraging week for him at the Masters. Obviously, it played in his favor a little bit because the more difficult that place plays, the more it is in his advantage. But I thought it was certainly encouraging that he was right there through the first two rounds, and he was paired up with Tiger Woods on Saturday, which made for an awesome featured pairing because Kevin Kisner doesn't get enough TV recognition and TV coverage. He's a really awesome and fun player to follow. So hopefully, I'm probably going to sprinkle some on Kisner here this week, and hopefully we'll be seeing some more coverage from him because that means he's going to be in contention come Sunday. But I think those are all the players that I really wanted to talk about in this field. And for the most part, I feel like we know what type of player we want really well here. Like we know we want good players who are good second shot players, good strokes gained approach. And we just got to hope that putter is hitting for us, Joey, because that really, I think, is going to be what makes or breaks the winner this week.
I 100% agree. I mean, like we talked about at the top, right, about the putters being really important, but we're looking at those approach guys as far as like building our, bet slip up. We want those approach guys, and then we just hope for the best with the putters. But you are trying to take some guys that might not fare as well as far as like ball striking goes, and they might just be better putters. Like this is the type that you can kind of do that here at this tournament. I feel like. Speaking of approach, he's gained 15.3 strokes on approach in his last 3 starts on PGA Tour. Alex Noren.
I'm going to get on Alex Noren. I forgot to talk about him as well. This always happens.
Well, it's just a loaded field. Like
Absolutely.
It's hard to remember every single player that golfer that we were looking at here, but I'm not taking him. I might take him for an outright. I want to hear your thoughts when I'm done with this, but plus 130 top continental European. I tried this last week, I believe, with John Rahm. It didn't pay off, but like look at those top continental Europeans and tell me, like the guys that are in this field, Sepp Straka maybe is the only guy that really like. There's other guys that can compete with him, but I feel like he is a guy that with that short market plus money, he's got to beat like 4 golfers, 5 golfers. I like it.
Yeah, that might honestly be the way to bet Alex Noren because I don't know if he's going to get the job done and win outright, but I do really like him this week. He's finished inside the top 30 in all 3 of his previous outings here. He also has finished top 12 in 3 of his last 5 events. He's been hitting the ball really well and kind of quietly. No one really is talking about Alex Noren. Not that he's like a superstar on the PGA Tour or anything, but he's quietly been playing well. So
4 straight top 30s on tour too. So
yeah, I think you've kind of convinced me to take him top continental European. Was that what it was?
That's the market I looked at that I felt pretty good about. And I mean, I can go back and look at it for sure. Who else was in that market? Because sometimes I do forget with these nationality props. But what I saw was Sepp Straka, I know, was like the second favorite there. Let me look real fast. Continental European. Okay, let's pull it up. Here we go. So Alex Noren, actually his price has come down on the DraftKings board, but you can find that on different books. Like I'm going to be shopping around. I'm not just gonna bet it on DraftKings. Like shop around, get your best price. Sepp Straka plus 200, Henrik Stenson plus 600, and Henrik Norlander plus 700, and Stefan Jaeger.
Oh, Stefan Jägermeister, yeah.
I do I want to say Jaeger, but it's Jaeger, right? Plus 900. So out of those guys, like Alex Noren is the most intriguing to me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds like the best way to bet Alex Noren. I think asking him to win this tournament, I mean, it's not unrealistic, but that might be a little big of an ask. So if you want to get some money down on Alex Noren, that's probably the more responsible way to do it, Joey.
I mean, I don't know what his like top 40 and stuff like that is, though. I should have looked at that. I've looked at all these other guys, but like maybe his top 40 market is like, because I could easily see him finishing top 40 as well. And let's look at it.
I'm trying to find it.
Alex Noren top 40. So
I don't know if they even have him listed, or maybe I'm just blind.
No, I'm not seeing him. That's why. Okay, minus 140. No, this is absolutely the market that you take it in. I'm not paying minus 140. I don't know about you.
No, I ain't paying minus 140 for Alex Noren. That ain't happening. He's up there with like Kevin Kisner. He's right there with Jordan Spieth. Like that's not happening.
It's 100% never happening.
Sung JM.
No,
I'm not getting there.
I wouldn't even put him in the same bucket as Sun JM. Like I would think Sun JM would be way more of a favorite to be top 40 than Alex Noren. And you know what that means?
People probably smashing him.
That means I feel good about this top continental market because you look at the top 40 brand, you look at the top 40 price of minus 140 like that. People are smashing him to get top 40. Then look at the next guy, right? Let's look at Sepp Straka. This is like a little experiment here. Or just a little example. Sepp Straka plus 130 for top 40. That doesn't equal right. Plus 200 to plus 120 for the top continental European. And then you got minus 140 and you got plus 130.
Yeah.
130. Dude, that's not equal. I'll take the top continental all day with the plus money and run with it.
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you on that one. That's definitely the best way to take Alex Noren this week, except now watch him go out and win and be like, hey, yeah, at least we had him top continental European, and then we missed out on like $800.
We'll be so pissed if he actually wins and we're sitting here like, we just wanted to find a way to bet on him.
Yeah, right. I just want to hit a winner this week, man. Whatever it be, let's just get back in the green figures. I need a dub real bad, and I'm hoping it's going to be this week at Hilton Head.
I'm with you, man. With that said, we have run out of time here. I think we've been going here for a little bit over 40 minutes. Jack, it's always a pleasure. Give me your final thoughts and then let people know what you got, what cooking up, and where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you can find me out at Jack Bushman 2 on Twitter. Be sure to also follow at On Tap Golf. I'm going to be having a full breakdown of the course, the field, some of my favorite outrights, some of my favorite prop bets, yada, yada, yada. That's going to be coming out tomorrow. So that's what I got cooking up after the Blackhawks play tonight. It's going to be a busy next couple of days, but that means after all that hard work, I get to sit back on Thursday morning and watch some golf. That's my favorite part about golf, man. You get 3 days off, 4 days on every week. I love it. It's worth all the work. So hopefully you guys will go and check all that stuff out. Follow On Tap Golf if you haven't done so already.
100% endorse following On Tap Golf. Follow us at On Tap Bets. You can follow me at Joey Knows Nothing. That's nothing without the G. Ends in IN because that stands for win. You can follow Jack at Jack Bushman 2. Check out all of our content at OnTapSportsNet.com. Chicago sports, beer reviews, entertainment stuff, whatever you're looking for. I mean, we've pretty much got it all. And then, check out all of our other podcasts. We've got a bunch of great podcasts, written work, all that sort of thing, all that sort of stuff. And then, definitely, subscribe, leave a review. If you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple, do all that good stuff. We've got to run. Have a good RBC Heritage. Enjoy the weekend, and let's make some money. Let's do this.